Well, good morning, YouTube. All right, guys, today is Monday,
July 14th.
Yeah, July 14th. And as you can see, we're at the Pilot here in Rapid City, exit 55, right across the street from the Black Hills Harley-Davidson dealership. And well, it's our vacation time. So we got done with the Deadwood rally a couple of days ago. We spent a couple of days here kind of relaxing in, somewhat preparing for this trip. And now it's time to get on the road. So last night we fueled up the dually. This morning I just fueled up Dr. Evil. We've got a cooler packed, we've got everything we need. We're gonna be gone for at least 6 or 7 nights, maybe 8. We don't really know for sure. And then we're gonna come back for a rally. But today our goal is to end up in Cody, Wyoming. But we are gonna make a couple stops along the way. Last night we discovered a small problem with the dually. One of the boost tubes where it comes out of the intercooler and into the actual intake manifold. No, I was wrong on that. Where it comes out of the turbo and into the CAC tube on the way to the intercooler was failed. It was the first time I'd driven the truck in a while, and I guess Alan just didn't notice because he doesn't know the truck as well as I do. Katie noticed it actually when she drove to go get groceries. She says, I can hear the turbo, but what she was hearing was actually a boost leak that was just kind of hissing as you gave it some acceleration and it tried to build boost. Turns out the boot was a little bit bad. I cut it short and made it work. This morning I went to Napa to see if we could find a replacement for it. They didn't have one here in town, but there's one in Gillette, Wyoming. And well, I'd already planned on stopping in Gillette anyways because this was gonna have to go pee by the time we get there. So we're gonna stop there, pick up the part, and then maybe tomorrow I can fix it. You ready?
I'm gonna have to pee. You're gonna have to pee.
Well, I'll probably pee there too, but you're gonna have to pee. I'm just gonna pee while you have to pee. Anyways, let's get out of here. All right, so we made it to Gillette, but not without stopping once already. Katie had to stop about 28 miles ago to pee, so we got off at exit 154 just for a split second so she could pee. We're now at the Napa. I got the cold air charge connector boot, and yeah, I'm not gonna put it on right now because the truck's running and it's hot. What we've got rigged up right now is working, but at least we know we've got a backup if something happens. And when we get to our destination tonight and the truck cools down, I'll install it, maybe even tomorrow morning. But for now, we'll put it in the truck. All right, so before getting back on the interstate, we stopped here at this little gas station called Good to Go. We stopped here last year on the way out, actually. Just wanted to clean the bugs off of my helmet visor. I wanted to use the restroom real quick and get a little bit of drink and eat a banana. I hadn't eaten anything yet this morning. So it's only about 11:30. I think we're making pretty good time. Traffic has not been an issue, which it never is out here. Truth is, I don't really care for interstate riding. But through Wyoming, it doesn't seem to be so bad. I mean, the scenery is just so pretty that you still get that enjoyment, and you get to make pretty good time. I've just got the cruise control set at 81 mile an hour. According to the GPS on my phone, that makes me actually traveling at 80 mile an hour. Katie says the truck says she's at 78 mile an hour. So there's some discrepancies there. So who knows how fast we're actually going, but it's close enough, right? She's over there cleaning her windows again because, you know, bugs out here. For those of you just joining us, yeah, I know it's weird that Katie's following me in the pickup truck, but she physically can't handle this long of a trip on the motorcycle. Some day trips are pretty good, but this is a little bit too much for her with her disabilities. And yeah, I could have rode in the truck with her, but what fun is that? I didn't want to. I wanted the miles on the bike. And this is actually the first real long road trip with Dr. Evil. It's been almost a year since I bought him. And when we started today out, we were at like 4,300 miles. So I just haven't had a real chance to take a long trip. I've done some day trips and had some pretty good ones even, but not any multi-day long trips like we did with the Street King in the past. So yeah, this is kind of like the maiden voyage on road trips for him. And yeah, I just didn't want to miss out on that. I really wanted to ride. I wish I had someone riding with me. I think it would be a little bit more fun, a little bit more interesting. But at the same time, this also makes things a little bit simpler because I don't have to worry about very many people. If she needs to stop and go to the bathroom, she can just call me. I've got my phone Bluetooth to my helmet speakers, and, well, we can just collaborate. Anyway, we're getting ready to get back on the road. Our next stop is going to be Buffalo. At that point, I will top off with some fuel, and after that, we're done with the interstate from Buffalo over to like the 10 Sleep area, which will probably take a short break there after going through the lower section of those Bighorn Mountains, and then after that, on out to Cody. So hope you guys are enjoying it so far. Just keep following along, and remember, like, share, and subscribe, and all that other good stuff. Not just to this YouTube channel, but also to the Instagram, the TikToks, the Snapchat, something like, yeah. All those links are in the description below, so go check them out. And if you've ever done this trip before, leave a comment down below as well. So we made it to Buffalo, and I topped Dr. Evil off of fuel. Katie is still reading 3/4 of a tank in the truck, so we're not worried about her right now, and the truck should make it all the way to Cody without needing any fuel, without a problem. Right now, we've just gone a little over 215 miles or something like that. And my trip meter said that I had 9 miles left to go. And actually, that was before I exited the interstate. So, but it only took 5 gallons, 6-gallon tank. So I'm pretty sure I could have gone further. But I definitely wouldn't have wanted to risk it too far from here. Once we get going up over these Bighorn Mountains, there's not a lot of places to stop and get fuel till you get down on the other side. Now I'm down in a small coffee where we're waiting here, but it's almost too hot out here. I may go inside sitting in the air conditioning and drink it. When we left this morning, Rapid City was like 81 degrees, and I've been watching the temperature on the dash of the motorcycle fluctuate, but it slowly crept its way up to about 93, 94. It keeps going back and forth. It's definitely hot. Going down the interstate though, with the wind blowing through the shirt and everything, it's not too bad. Like I said about the scenery coming through Wyoming, it's just, even though it's interstate, it's absolutely beautiful. All the little small canyons and whatnot, the pastures, the prairies. And then not too much further out of Gillette, you can kind of see those long distance views of the Bighorn Mountains where they're almost just a shadow off in the distance. It's just amazing how far you can see out here. I mean, we were still 40, 50 miles away, and you can see them. But then as you get closer, they just get more beautiful and larger, more up in your face. And now we're getting ready to go across them. But yeah, it's just absolutely beautiful out here. I love riding my motorcycle out here. All right, so that's a long enough break. Something to drink, something to snack on. Clean the visor one more time, top off the fuel. Let's get over these mountains. So the next planned stop is going to be at 10 Sleep, which is only 45 miles from here, but it's 66 miles on the road. It still says it'll take about an hour and a half to get there because, you know, sometimes the slower speeds going over the mountains. We may get behind some slower traffic or whatnot, and we're only 174 miles from our hotel, but it's still like 3.5 hours if we don't stop, which we're going to stop. Alright guys, so we made it down here to 10 Sleep. We're not staying long. I just wanted to use restrooms real quick, mostly because I figured Katie had to. I didn't really need to, but I did anyways because we were stopped. What I think is amazing about that pass is that when you come in from the east side, there is just beautiful green pine trees and pastures, like these rolling hills and steep bluffs, but it's very green, very woodsy, right? And then when you start coming back down on the west side, it gets very rocky. There's still some green, but then it gets a little bit more orange as well. The dirt, the rocks. And then when you come down to it over here, it's almost like you're in a desert. It's just so cool how the landscape changes over just a couple of miles. It's almost like we're in a completely different climatic ecosystem or something here. It just, I don't know, just really, really cool. Anyways, next stop should be the hotel. I'm leaving the bike running. You may have noticed. I'm still having some issues with that cooling system. Remember, we talked about that last week at the Deadwood rally. Every once in a while, it seems like the water pump doesn't activate. Now, according to the service manual, it's supposed to activate after like a minute and a half of runtime, or if it sees a specific temperature, then the ECM will then activate the cooling system, which starts the electric water pump to flow the water and the electric fan to cycle on and off at a certain temperature. And it seems like every so often when I shut the bike off, then I start it back up, that system isn't activating on time. When we left the gas station on the other side of the mountains, I probably went 35 miles before the system kicked in. I could see the temperature go up. I got up to 340 degrees when most times it's around 225, 230. And sometimes the cooler altitudes, it was dropping down to like 209. But once the system kicks on, it works perfect. It's just like it's not kicking on when it's supposed to. So right now it's on and working. So I figure it's better to let it sit here and idle for a few minutes and maintain its temperature than have to start the cycle over again and it may not kick on. It seems like each time I do it, it takes longer and longer for the system to kick on. Now I think it's the water pump, because this last time I could actually hear the fan cycling, but the temperature was still going up. So that tells you the water pump is most likely not circulating the water. I don't know, I'll have to look at it when we get back home, but the nice thing about these center cooled or even the dual cooled motorcycles is that at heart, they're still an air cooled engine. So even if the cooling system is not working, you can ride it just like a Harley that didn't have the cooling system. So I'm not worried about it. It just annoys me that it doesn't work, and I want to make sure that we get it fixed pretty soon. So that's why it's running right now. Now, temperatures did drop considerably when we got up in the mountains. The lowest I saw on the dash was 73 degrees. It was cool, it was brisk, it was beautiful. As soon as we started coming back down here about 5-10 miles ago, it jumped right back up into the mid-90s. So it's hot, so I'm trying to stay in the shade. Anyway, I think Katie's done with her restroom break. Let's get back on the road. Let's get to our hotel.
Adam is riding in front of me, and it's 101 degrees right now. Holy shnikes. It's a wee bit on the warmish side.
So it's just after 4:30, and we are in Cody. We were gonna come to Granny's Kitchen. We couldn't remember the name of it, but we knew that if we saw it, we would know it. And that's this place right here. We ate here last year, but they're not open on Mondays, it looks like. So Katie is giving it a Google to figure out where else we might eat tonight. All right, so we know it's not Tuesday, but Katie found us another restaurant, Zapata's restaurant. It's a Mexican restaurant, and it looks like on Taco Tuesday, they have a $9.99 taco bar. So guess where we'll be tomorrow night also. Hi guys, so I got the green chili dinner, but we also got these jalapeno poppers. So they're an actual jalapeno filled with cheese and wrapped with bacon. They're absolutely amazing.
But they also have either brisket or chorizo in them, and they are to die
They're
for.
both good. And Katie got the big Mexican pizza. And right over there is the taco bar. And even look at it. We're gonna save that for tomorrow, I think. I'm pretty sure this one was at the Can-Am three-wheeler rally, or the Deadwood three-wheeler rally. It looks familiar. All right, so we have got settled in the hotel, and I've got most of the video actually edited. It's a little bit long, but when we're both recording, we get quite a bit of footage, so I apologize for that. And actually, I don't, because some of you really like the longer format videos. A couple of things we didn't get on camera. When we were coming through that area with all the water systems over the fields, there was one spot where there was a couple antelope right by the side of the road, or pronghorn, yeah, I'm not sure which. Then when I actually looked at it in the field, there was like 20 more out there, and it was just too quick. I couldn't get the camera ready. And I completely forgot last time we came through here that there was this old, I don't know if I call it a museum or whatever, but there's this place on the left, and it was on the right last year I saw it, and I totally forgot about it. But there were just hundreds of like antique tractors and classic trucks and stuff like that, which was really, really cool. Had I thought about it, I would have like maybe planned to stop there to check that place out. I don't know if it's open to the public or if it's just somebody's collection. I don't know, but it's just like fields full of really cool old equipment, which, you know, I find fascinating. And then there was another pronghorn right on the side of the road. Luckily, when we got close to him, he ran into the field and away from us. As we were coming into Cody, you could clearly see rain on the right side of us, rain on the left side of us. But luckily, we only got a couple of sprinkles just before we pulled into town, so we never really had to deal with the rain much at all. And yeah, after we left tent sleep, it got pretty hot. Katie had 101 on the dash of the truck, and I had a high of 99 on the motorcycle. Don't know which one is more accurate, but it was hot nevertheless. But as we started to see those rainstorms off to the sides, the cloud cover came in. The last, I don't know, 60 miles or so before we got to Cody, it actually cooled down to like 83, 85, and it was actually pretty nice. So it was awesome. Anyway, tomorrow we're going to explore Cody, so hopefully you guys will tag along with us then. But other than that, we're going to end this video here. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and until the next time we see you,
Keep those engines running.
what she said.